Hi guys. So I'm alive. You may not have been able to tell that based on my channel lately. It's been I think 8 months since I posted a video, and yeah, I don't really have a good excuse for it. I do have two big life events I'm going to tell you about in a minute that would be a good excuse for it, except that's not why I didn't make videos. Basically, I just had a really long reading slump, and so I'm still I'm trying to force myself out of it, and I'm doing okay at that. Um, but yeah, basically when I wasn't reading books, I didn't feel like making videos for a booktube channel because I thought that would be awkward if I'm not reading anything. But I'm reading now. I'm trying to read now, just, you know, having to make myself do it. But anyways, I wanted to come back on and make a video just talking about one, letting y'all know a couple big things that happened in my life, and then two, talking about the books that I've read since the last time I posted a wrap up, which was April of 2024. We have lots of books to talk about since then. Basically, it's mostly what I read in May of 2024, and then like 3 or 4 other books that I've read since then, which is not a lot, but yeah. So, before I get into the books, though, the two big life events. One, you may not be able to. You may be able to tell. You may not, but we moved. Again, I am tired of moving, and I don't want to do it again for a long time. But the good news about the move is that when we were living before, we could just put a bunch of boxes in the basement and then not get them back out and not deal with them. Here we don't have as much space, and so that means we've had to go through all the boxes, which means I have a lot of books that I did not have access to before. So that's exciting that I'm finally getting all of my books on my shelves. I've also unhauled quite a few that I did not film because I had so many and we were just trying to get rid of books, so because we have less space here. So, yeah, that was fun to do. End of the year last year. And then, right after we moved, I had another baby. And yeah, that's great. She's wonderful. I have a little girl now with our little boy. And so, yeah, she's about 2 weeks old now. And life's going great with that. Yeah. So yeah, those are the two big things that have happened to me recently. I don't think there wasn't actually a good reason for me not to be posting, and my pregnancy wasn't that awful. I could have been posting if I was reading, but again, I just didn't feel like posting when I wasn't reading. So, the books that I did read. We'll start with May of last year. Please remember though that it has been 8 months. 7-8 months since I read these books. I don't remember a lot. And if my Goodreads review is not detailed enough to remind me of why I rated a book these many stars, then I won't remember why, probably. So, yeah. First book I finished in May was A Captive of Wing and Feather, the Swan Lake retelling by Melanie Sellier, part of the Beyond the Four Kingdoms series that I was binging so much last year. Enjoyed this one. I enjoyed all of them. I give all of her books 5 stars pretty much because I love them. So, yeah, this one got 5 stars. And then I thought I heard baby crying, but I didn't. And then I read A Choice Considered by Tracy Peterson. I gave it 4 stars. Apparently I cried reading this book, so, that's something. But I don't remember why. Yeah. I read A Princess of Wind and Wave, a Little Mermaid retelling from Beyond the Four Kingdoms. This one I remember really liking. I remember this one being really great. So, yeah. I do remember really loving that one. The relationship was really sweet in that one. I read Legacy of Roses by Melanie Sellier. Yes, this is the other series that she's writing, but I had Kindle Unlimited at this time, so I was like, I want to read this book now while I have Kindle Unlimited. Gave it 5 stars as well. The concept of this world is really creative. I really love the concept of that world. I didn't read any of the other books, unfortunately, before Kindle Unlimited, my 99 cents thing ran out, so, yeah. Oh, I think she is talking to me, but she's not crying. She's fine. The Secret Princess by Melanie Sellier. 5 stars again. And this is Return to the Four Kingdoms. I remember definitely really liking going back to see Max and Alyssa and their kids. That was really great. I really loved that. The Mystery Princess, Return to the Four Kingdoms, book 2. 5 stars, but also, what is up with all the twins? So many twins! I don't understand why all of these royals have twins. Um, The Golden Princess. Um, oh no, The Desert Princess is book 3. Golden Princess is book 4. I just finished them on the same day, apparently. Um, Desert Princess book 3 got 5 stars. Um, really liked Cassie, apparently, and the kids. And I definitely did not guess the final twist, is what I have in my Goodreads review. And then The Golden Princess, book 4. I do remember how close, like, also 5 stars. I remember I really liked how close this one was to the original fairy tale. That was really cool. And then I read Covenant of the Heart, Odelia's story. 5 stars. I believe this one was because I was trying to do, for Cat from Cat Stories for her readathon last year, the prompt for the um, prophets. That's it. I gave it 5 stars, so apparently I really liked it. Oh yeah, that one. Yes, okay. I did really like that book. I remember it now. Yes. And then I read Anne's House of Dreams for Chantel's Year of Maud, and really loved this one. It wasn't as funny as the other Anne books, but I really liked the new characters, and Anne and Gilbert, of course, are just precious. And then the storyline at the end with Anne. I think it was near the end. I really liked that. It was the one that made me cry. If you've read it, you know what I'm talking about. This one was 5 stars. And then this is where I stopped writing Goodreads reviews. So I don't have Goodreads reviews to go off of. I just have my own vibes that I remember. So the Rogue Princess, which was the Puss in Boots retelling, I gave that one 5 stars. And also the Abandoned Princess, the Rapunzel retelling, I give that one 5 stars. Please look at this cover. This is a gorgeous cover. This is one of my favorites in the series, I think. This cover is. And this book also is one of my favorites. I really loved this book. It was a really creative take on Rapunzel, I thought. With Shannon at Old American Spirit, I read Mandy and the Ghost Bandits. I gave it 3 stars in this. I'm guessing that's what I gave it. It was, if I remember, it was kind of a bizarre storyline. Again, Mandy gets herself into a lot of weird scrapes that no sane, like no normal person gets themselves into. That happens a lot with Mandy. So yeah. I read Meeting Her Match by Jen Turano. Gave it 5 stars. I just love Jen Turano's books. I thought this one was really funny, I believe. I read Little Dorrit by Charles Dickens. I gave it 4 stars. It was really hard for me to get through just because it's so long. Dickens was so paid by the word. Or I actually have heard that's not actually true, but the man writes like he was paid by the word. I really like the miniseries of Little Dorrit. I think Claire Foy is the actress who plays Little Dorrit, and then Arthur is Matthew McFadden, maybe. Andy Serkis is in it. It's the one with Andy Serkis in it. I really like that one, that miniseries. But in the miniseries, I do remember this being a very big problem for me in reading this book, and I had to put my iPad down with Goodreads so that I could use my hands because I really need to express some things. The book made me a little uncomfortable in a way that the miniseries did not, because the miniseries did not talk about, like, Arthur did not call Amy child every 3rd page. The very first time they meet in the book, it is described as him being twice her age or something, or it gives us their ages. I think they're about 40 and 20. And we don't get that in the miniseries. They don't tell us how old they are. And that's for the best. We don't need to know that because I like their relationship in the miniseries when they are not 20 years apart. In the book, that's weird. I am sorry, that is weird. I know it wasn't as weird back then, but still. Now, do I love Emma and Mr. Knightley? Yes. Do Emma and Mr. Knightley not give us their ages until the very end of the book? And I'm already invested. Also, yes. I think that's part of why. But yeah, this book, that I had that in my back of my mind the entire time because he told us the first time they met their age gap. If he'd not told us their age gap, it may not have been in the back of my mind the entire book, but it was. So, yeah, and it was just stupidly long. Dickens writes things stupidly long. I also read the so anyways, next two books that I read were To Ride the Wind and To Steal the Sun, the Four Kingdoms duology, the East of the Sun, West of the Moon duology. Gave them 5 stars. Enjoyed them. They were pretty good. Yeah, I don't think I liked them as well as the other Four Kingdoms books, but I still enjoyed them a lot. And then in August, jumping forward from June-ish to August, I read Little House in the Big Woods. I gave it 5 stars. I read it with the idea of taking part in Anne's Prairie Trail readathon. Again, did not post a YouTube video, so did not really take part in the readathon, but I did read the book, so, there's that, and I love that book. And then you may have noted, if you follow me on Goodreads, you may have noticed me marking a couple of books as having read them, a couple of children's books, and that was because I was trying to desperately get myself up to, like, a couple days, last night. For me, when I'm recording this, it was last night. That was because I was desperately trying to get myself up to my Goodreads goal, which was 100 books, and I thought I would have read enough adult books to have gotten there, and I didn't. So I was trying to mark books that I read to my son, because last year he started liking reading, which is great. Love that he likes reading. He likes reading the same book again and again and again and again and again. And so I knew what books I had read a bunch of times. And so I think I marked Put Me in the Zoo as having read it at least twice in 2025, maybe even 3 times. I know I read it probably 100, so yeah. But anyways, at some point, I also pretty sure I read Midnight's Curse by Trisha Mingring, because I remember reading this book, but somehow it did not get logged on Goodreads anywhere. So gave it 5 stars. Really enjoyed this one too. So I am going to try to come back, going to try to do better at reading and getting my books in now that I am having to feed a baby all day again and hold sleeping babies and stuff. Hopefully I will be able to use that to get more reading in. Unfortunately, where we moved, we are not included anymore in the area that gets free library service for anywhere. Apparently, we don't have a library that we get for free, so we have to pay for it. But it's only $15 a year to get the one that I had been using that has access to all the audiobooks and stuff. So I'll probably we don't have a lot of spare money, but I got some for Christmas that I'll probably just use for that and say this is we'll just use this to cover my library bill for a year at least. So yeah, that was disappointing that I realized we don't have free library service anymore. But anyways, please let me know what you've been reading. If you've had any favorite books that you've read lately, I will hopefully also get my favorite books of 2025 filmed. Hopefully that will come out pretty soon. That will be the goal anyways. So keep an eye out for that. And I will see y'all next time. Bye.